Hello, family. It is me, Daddy. I hope you're having a really good time there at the Fijian. Really enjoyed being able to read some of Mommy's emails and hear some of the things you're doing. Boys, especially you. Jackson, I hear you're catching crabs. And I hear that you guys are paddle boarding. Daniel, you do like paddle boarding. And I hear you guys both like the buffets, which sounds pretty cool. And Jess, I'm really happy that you're able to eat. That's a blessing for sure. Not much going on around here, just working and hanging out. But I did want to read with you guys, keep reading in Genesis. This was Mommy's idea. It was a great idea. So I'm just going to read, we're in Genesis 29. We'll keep doing this maybe every night if we can make it work. But last time we read, we finished Genesis 28, and that's where Jacob kind of met with God in a dream, a vision. And God gave him the same promises that he had given to Abraham and to Isaac, that he would bless Jacob and that all the peoples on the earth would be blessed through Jacob's descendants. So now let's pick it up in Genesis 29, where he finally gets to where he was going on his journey. Jacob resumed his journey, and he went to the eastern country. He looked and saw a well in a field. 3 flocks of sheep were lying there beside it, because the sheep were watered from this well. A large stone covered the opening of the well. When all the flocks were gathered there, the shepherds would roll the stone from the opening of the well and water the sheep. The stone was then placed back on the well's opening. Jacob asked the men at the well, "My brothers, where are you from?" "We're from Haran," they answered. "Do you know Laban, grandson of Nahor?" Jacob asked them. They answered, "We know him." "Is he well?" Jacob asked. "Yes," they said, "and here is his daughter Rachel, coming with his sheep." Then Jacob said, "Look, it is still broad daylight. It's not time for the animals to be gathered. Water the flock, then go out and let them graze." But they replied, "We can't until all the flocks have been gathered and the stone is rolled from the well's opening. Then we will water the sheep." While he was still speaking with them, Rachel came with her father's sheep, for she was a shepherdess. As soon as Jacob saw his uncle Laban's daughter, Rachel, with his sheep, he went up and rolled the stone from the opening and watered his uncle Laban's sheep. Then Jacob kissed Rachel and wept loudly. He told Rachel that he was her father's relative, Rebekah's son. She ran and told her father. All right, so there's a couple things going on here, one of which is it's kind of funny that Jacob is showing off a little bit. So they had this well out in the middle of the desert, and like it said, there was a hole where they would draw the water from, but this well, they had to put a huge, really big rock on top of it. That way, A, no animals would get in there, and B, no one could steal the water. They had to roll that rock out of the way. So it sounds like from the text that they would gather all the sheep and all the animals from the different herds, and then the shepherds would kind of work together to heave that big stone out of there. So it's funny that when Jacob sees Rachel with the sheep that she's taking care of, he runs over and all by himself heaves and lifts the rock up out of the way. So he may have been showing off a little bit. But it's also probably interesting, boys, you both probably noticed, or you may remember, that way back a couple of chapters ago, when Abraham sent his servant to find a wife for Isaac, his son, the servant prayed that that the woman who came out and offered to water all of his camels, which was a hard job, that would be the woman for Isaac to marry. But in this story, it is Jacob who goes and removes the stone and he waters all of Rachel's sheep. So there's kind of a funny switch there. So anyway, this is a very important moment because, as you know, we've been waiting to see who is going to be this promised one, who's going to defeat evil. We know from the last chapter that it's going to come from Jacob's family now, from one of his descendants. So this moment where he meets Rachel, who would become his wife, is an important moment because he needs his wife in order to have any descendants. So it kind of shows us that God's promises are still rolling, they're still working, and now Jacob has arrived back with his people, and he is going to take a wife, and so that will let him have children, and that God's promises will keep going. And one day, the Messiah would come, the one who would conquer evil, the one who would fix what was messed up because of sin. So, we will keep reading in Genesis. I hope that you boys are having a wonderful time. I know that you're having a wonderful time, and it really makes me happy to hear that you're having fun. Jessica, thank you for everything you're doing there. And things are under control here. And I love you all very much. Thinking about you every day. Lots of times every day. So, bula.